Welcome to the OpsLogix NetApp Management Pack demonstration video. To start off our demonstration, I've already opened the Operations Manager 2007 R2 console, imported the OpsLogix Management Packs, and next thing we need to do is add our NetApp filers into our Operations Manager environment. Before we can start by running the Discovery Wizard, please make sure SNMP is enabled on your NetApp filers and SNMP traffic is allowed from the management server to your NetApp filers. Start the Discovery Wizard, select the SNMP version you want to use, fill in the IP address of your NetApp filer, the community string, the management server you want to run the discovery on, and if required, a timeout and the amount of retries. For this demo we're going to cancel out the Discovery Wizard since we already discovered our NetApp filer. After adding the NetApp filer into our Operations Manager environment, we also have the possibility to change its display name from the IP address to a more common name for easy identification. Next, we can browse to the NetApp folder and start to take a look at our NetApp filer and the components it has discovered. Since we already added the NetApp filer, all components are already discovered in our environment, like fans, power supplies, CPU, interfaces, aggregates, enclosures and snap mirrors. All these components are all discovered based on SNMP. To give an even better overview of the health state of your NetApp storage environment, we also added a diagram view which is targeted at the total NetApp storage environment, which means all NetApp filers and closures are included in this view. And here you can navigate through all the different components within your NetApp filer, from aggregates to volumes, CPU, enclosures, and even within enclosures the components are discovered and monitored, like electronics, fans, power supplies, sensors like the temperature sensor, fans are discovered, and of course our interfaces, which are monitored for availability and bandwidth, the power supplies of the NetApp filer itself, our snap mirrors, which are monitored for the lag between two snapshots, and if it gets above the threshold it triggers a critical alert. Like in this example, we have several snap mirrors with a lag with more than the configured threshold, which is by default 2 hours. Of course, the threshold can be configured to your requirements by setting an override. And we can select the top entity, open the Health Explorer, which will show us a total overview of our NetApp storage environment. In here you see our NetApp filer, the different monitors running on this filer, for instance the fan status, power supply status, which are both availability monitors, and also performance will be monitored for the CPU or interfaces. And in this example you can see we've only enabled a subset of monitors in the management pack to give you a quick baseline to start monitoring your NetApp devices, and if required you can also enable other monitors as well. And just like you used to do in the Microsoft management packs, the NetApp management pack is native to Operations Manager, so you should already be familiar with setting the overrides on the thresholds like this. Select the management pack, and waited for save it in the management pack. And now we have enabled the monitor for this interface. Now to get an even closer look at your NetApp environment, we also created several state views to show you the state on a component based level. The aggregates, SNMP state, which will show you the actual SNMP path and destination. The volume state, which kind of volume it is, on which aggregate it's running. The enclosure electronic state, on which enclosure it's running, the serial number, the enclosure fan state, the enclosure power supplies included with the serial number, overall health state, which includes also properties about the enclosure, how much disk space, how much fans it has running, the vendor, the model, and the serial number, and so on. The enclosure temperature sensors, which also includes the thresholds which are set at the NetApp level. So to configure these thresholds, you need to change these settings on your NetApp device. The filer fan state, the power supply is running on this filer. The network interfaces, an alert view for all the alerts based on your network interfaces. The performance view, which will show you the performance data collected for each interface. Again, this is a subset of all the rules currently in the management pack, just to give you a baseline on the average bandwidth usage. State view of all interfaces, its physical address, its speed, and also we've created a couple of performance views. Like volumes, total percentage of used space on a volume, used space on a volume, the file CPU, percentage idle time, percentage busy time, an overview of all performance counters currently collected for this NetApp filer. And as you can see, we also monitor the free space for the aggregates. And those are also monitored as you can see. The default values again, to give you an idea of what is being monitored and what the defaults are. All data is also collected in the data warehouse for reporting purposes on trending and forecasting. And one last thing is the alerts view, which has all the alerts currently open for the NetApp filer. As you can see, several components are failing on this demo filer, just to give you an idea of what is in the pack. As you can see, we have also added knowledge in the management pack to give you an idea what is being monitored and what default values are, and even how you can resolve the issue